This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Danny, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me through this journey. We'd like to acknowledge and thank our executive producers, Brandy Nairn Kirkwood, Chad Welsh, Sean McGuire, Yanis, Ricky Morissette, Albert Lorenzo, and Eddie Costello. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Clark Preston to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We really, really appreciate it. In this episode, we're talking about chapters 41 and 42 of Lord of Chaos.
Yeah, so chapter 41 is A Threat, and chapter 42 is The Black Tower.
Yeah.
We made it. I'm so excited for this one.
Yeah. Things make a little more sense.
Yeah, we get to pick up
things I've seen before.
Yeah, a whole lot of information and stuff in the Twitterverse, and what's actually real in this world and what's not.
And what's not, and what's going on. And remember when I was so sure that I'd figured out the dedicated thing?
Oh yeah, and totally just
I was wrong.
Yeah,
Although, the Aiel dedicated,
yeah,
or whatever it was.
Yeah,
I don't even remember
there was that.
Anymore.
Yeah, you made a comparison. It was the wrong one, but it's just okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
And I still might not even know.
And that's fair. That's fair. We get a tidbit of information, and it's so good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Good.
It's an important chapter. It's super important. Okay. So, as is tradition with my fun fact, this one has to do with the Black Tower, but more specifically, the Ajaman.
The what?
The Ajaman.
Is that how you pronounce that?
How do you pronounce it?
I didn't.
How does the audiobook pronounce it? The Ajaman.
No. Ashaman.
Ashaman.
Yeah.
Ashaman.
Yeah.
Ashaman?
See, when I read things, I don't pronounce them. I read the word and I keep going.
Okay.
I don't hear words in my head when I read them.
I should do
you?
a harder S. Yeah, I should try. I try and figure it out sometimes in my head. What comes out of my mouth isn't always correct, but that's okay. The Ashaman.
Yeah, that's a little better.
Okay.
Because I thought you were saying something about the Ajas.
The Ajaman. The Ashaman.
No, I don't think there's a J in there.
Okay. Ashaman.
That's better.
Better. Okay. So that's what the fun fact is about.
Okay, the Guardians.
The Guardians.
Except sort of.
Yeah, which is a hilarious. That entire sequence, it's such a funny chapter.
Everything about all of it is I hate it all. Okay, go.
Yeah. Okay. So the Ashaman might be a reference to Ashama, who was the ruler of the kingdom of Aksum during the founding of the Islamic religion. So Ashama gave shelter to many Muslim immigrants around the year 615. So Ashama's offer of protection kind of fits with the old tongue word Ashaman, meaning guardian. So that's the first connection. Then we can also see the possible play on the word shaman, because Ashaman. And there's a lot of definitions for shaman or shamanism, like you may have heard of that before. But it pops up in a ton of different cultures around the world. But there's some typical traits, like referring to anyone who contacts the spirit world, people who can alter their state of consciousness, and sometimes people like mediums or witch doctors or spiritual healers. There's a lot of similarities between shamans and the male channelers because they can do all sorts of things like that. Okay. So a bit of a play on words. We're not exactly sure where the real world inspiration comes from, but probably a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. And then the secondary part of the Ashaman is their motto, more or less, what Rand kind of creates here. So he's like, hey, it doesn't just mean defender or guardian. It's one. It
also means you're not allowed to be evil.
Yeah, it's one who
evil,
defends.
Get the heck out of here.
But this is the thing: it's someone who defends truth and justice and right for everyone, and it's a guardian who would not yield even when hope was gone. So he kind of goes on that long speech, but the big part is the defending truth and justice and right for everyone. So it might be a small reference to Superman, because Superman's motto in the comics began as a never-ending battle for truth and justice, and then in the middle of World War II, the motto was changed to truth, justice, and the American way.
Okay.
So it's like a play off of that, because, male channelers, the Ashaman, they're kind of like Superman.
Sure.
Right?
The Dragon Reborn's way.
Yeah, exactly. And then interestingly, last year in 2021, it was changed to truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. So I throw that in there.
Superman's?
Yeah, yes, last year. Yeah. I just had to throw it in there because it's now no longer and the American way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a better tomorrow. And then the last little connection there is it might be a reference to Zoroastrianism because of the concept of Asha, which means truth and righteousness.
Sure.
So it's there's a ton of play on the word Ashaman.
Got it.
Got it?
Great.
Good.
Get it, got it, good.
Let's do this.
Let's go. Last time, we were here, we talked about Matt in Saladar, and there was a continuation of him in Saladar where he actually finds out that Egwene is in fact the Amyrlin.
Yes.
He meets with Tom, and we find out that he is definitely confused by women.
Very much so.
Yeah, he wants to tell them what to do, and they don't want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
And then we also get a funny little sequence about Elaine not killing Avienda, and then Avienda might wanting to kill Min.
Yeah.
And that's how we ended last time. And last time we were with Rand, he was telling Matt to go to Saladar because he had done some sneaking in a dream.
Correct. To find out about Saladar.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now we're here.
Now we're here. Yeah.
Here we are.
Which is big because we get the Min introduction. It's like fantastic.
Yeah,
There's so
as
much.
soon as we were like in Camelin, I had predicted all this like weird stuff about the lion, and I was like, oh. And I had said, I'm done with Saladar. I want to move on.
Yeah.
So here we are. I was happy.
Yeah, we are kind of done with Saladar a little bit.
For a minute.
Kind of, sort of.
For a minute.
Yeah.
I think we'll bounce back, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Like at some point we have to.
Sure. I think soon. But
It's just a matter of when.
yeah. So chapter 41 is called A Threat. Ooh, what's the threat? The Aes Sedai?
That's a good question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I completely forget about the chapter titles, and then just now when we're sitting down, I'm like, ooh.
You're like, wait, why? Why is
that
what's the
mean?
threat?
Yeah.
Min's the threat. Ah.
No, well,
Or it's like the literal
What
threat
kind
that
of-
Min talks about
oh, right, maybe.
because
that.
there's like that viewing. So
Yeah.
it's up in the air.
Uh-huh.
Babies, gotta watch out for them.
Watch out for those twins.
Look out. Yeah.
Okay. The chapter symbol is a lion because we're in Camelin, not because of Gawain, not because of Elaine,
Uh huh.
not because of anything else.
Because we're here.
Because we're in Camelin.
Yes.
Duh.
Yep.
So, we enter in a Min perspective, which is very exciting. I always love a Min perspective because I love the visions. I
Yeah.
love speculating on visions and
That's true. And you
whatnot.
never really know, especially with RJ's
Never.
writing. I was just going to say, you never know if when we get a Min perspective, it's like, oh, she's almost in Camelin, and we're going to have to read a chapter of her getting closer to Camelin before we actually get to
that would
Camelin.
have been terrible.
Oh, yeah. But it's like, we're right here. We're doing this.
Here we are. Let's
yeah.
snuggle up on Rand's lap for an hour.
Yeah.
It's not awkward at all.
No, it's great. Totally friends. Totally platonic.
Totally totally regular. It's
Yeah.
all good.
It's all normal
Okay,
stuff.
so Min is riding through Camelin on her way to the royal palace to see Rand. We get a bit of a description of the people here, and most importantly, there's a lot of Aiel, and there's Shinerians.
Yeah.
And she makes it to the edge of the royal palace, and there's even more Aiel here on guard.
Yeah, especially there's lots of Aiel because there's currently the whole noble thing going on. So we kind of got that.
Mm-hmm.
That there's a lot of Aiel around and inside the palace because of the nobles being here.
Got it. What nobles?
The nobles that Rand is meeting with.
He's-
When Min enters,
Min enters.
yeah,
Rand is
is
meeting
in the
with
middle of a
nobles.
meeting with nobles.
Good.
And Rand thinks like, oh, why are these maidens angry with me? I let a bunch of them in the palace because of the meeting with the nobles. He thought that. That was a thing that happened.
Okay.
Yeah. it wasn't
Sure.
even supposed to be this big of a deal.
Well, I just didn't know.
It's
I
like a
didn't,
tiny little point.
well, I didn't pick it up. I
Okay.
thought, okay.
That's okay. You
But-
should have picked up the flags.
The flags.
Yeah, the flags that are flying.
There are flags that are flying.
There's the Lion of Andor flags, and then
course.
there's the Ancient Aes Sedai flag, but we don't see any dragon flags.
No dragon flags.
Yeah.
Oh, because the dragon doesn't rule here.
Oh, boom. Figured it out.
Yeah, I figured it out.
Yeah, okay.
I already knew that one.
Yeah.
So now Min thinks back on how she's glad that she didn't take any warders for an escort. And I thought to myself, oh, right. She's with a bunch of Aes Sedai.
Yeah, we kind of do like the little back and forth for the explanation for what's going on.
Right, a little back in time. So she snuck out of the inn where the rest of the Aes Sedai are staying.
Yeah.
And she didn't want them to
Yeah.
know?
And
or-
well, and it's only she only sort of like she's here because this is the Aes Sedai plan. She just left early so she wouldn't have to take warders as a guard.
Well, she thought that the warders would put the Aiel on edge.
Yeah,
and, that
and it
would be
wasn't
a
even
whole
like-
procession thing, and she really just wants to go snuggle with Rand.
Yeah, the whole point is like she's not completely sneaking out of here. Like it's not
Yeah,
like
okay.
the Aes Sedai have no clue she's coming.
All right, I don't think it's very important at all.
No, it's their plan. So
So now she's at the palace. She pauses. She's not afraid of the Aiel, and she thinks back to her childhood about how she never wore dresses and
that whole deal.
that whole thing. And oh, he'll have to take me as I am, but I'll definitely change for him. Anyway,
Yeah,
That's all.
girl
It's all-
feelings,
it's
girl
all-
feelings
it's-
and stuff about like I shouldn't change for him, but I will
But like
if he
I
wants
will
me to.
for sure,
so.
100% I will.
She's
And
also competing because she's up against like two other women.
I don't
kinda,
think it's
sorta.
a competition.
Well, I mean, I think it's a little bit of competition because certainly
No,
Elaine thinks there's a bit of
It's
competition.
not a competition. It's a cooperative game.
Well, it maybe eventually, but
Yeah, it's not a competitive game. It's a cooperative game.
did you read Elaine's note? Because I don't think it's that cooperative.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have to talk about that.
Okay.
It's a little bit cooperative, and with a slight edge of like, okay,
A little bit of
All right,
undercutting.
you
a
made your
little.
point. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
So now Min heads up to the Aiel, and she says, "I've come to see Rand. My name is Min. He knows me." And then the maidens do some hand talk and kind of laugh, and they're like, "Okay, I'll take you to him, but if he doesn't know you, you're going out faster than you came in."
Yeah. So it's like get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
but
and Min makes an unintentional horse joke, which makes the Aiel laugh, and they
Yeah.
head into the palace.
there you go. And this is an Isla, so she's one of the ones that like treats Rand a certain kind of way, like a long lost son, and he hates it.
Yes,
Plus, she's very short.
for an Aiel.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so they make it to the hall where Rand is, and Min can see him.
Oh, I gotta pause you.
Oh, what?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There was a vision.
Oh, of Anila and the wreath.
Yes, and
But
that
she
is
doesn't know what it means.
Yeah. So Min doesn't, but we do.
Oh, yeah.
What does the wreath mean in Aiel culture?
Bridal.
There you go.
Bridal
laying a
wreath.
wreath at the feet, right?
Okay.
So it's like flickers.
So it's not Christmas.
Not well, maybe probably not. No,
Not hanging a wreath
definitely
on your
not.
door at
Nope,
Christmas time.
that's not what it is.
Okay.
So, but it flickers and it's gone. So Min doesn't know, but we know, and it makes sense because she's Aiel. So boom,
Go get married.
possibly.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, so now they're at the hall where Rand is.
yeah.
Min almost tries to go in, even though the maidens tell her to wait. Min can see Rand, like, through the doors, and thinks he looks tired and beautiful.
He is beautiful.
Is he, though?
I
never
think so.
thought Rand was beautiful.
He's so beautiful. He's tall and handsome and strong, powerful.
Are you attracted to Rand?
I mean, have you seen this cover?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
telling me that this? Come on. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just never thought of Rand as very attractive
Interesting.
in the books.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I get that all these women super like him, but I think it's the power that they're attracted to more than anything.
Okay. There's a
Yeah.
couple more covers I'm gonna have to get you to
I
look
know
at.
the
so.
covers. I know.
Anyways, he's in the middle of the noble meeting right now.
Got it.
That's what I was talking about.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And at this point, though, I think I was distracted by Min's viewings
Yes.
of Rand.
Yeah, so there's two of them.
So she sees what she usually sees.
We got to talk about that, though.
the sparkling of lights and stars and fireflies all rushing around.
Yeah, but I just got to bring it up because, like, we've seen that original, like, way back.
Yeah.
But we didn't really know very much about things and visions and how the
Yeah,
world works.
still don't know much about things and visions and how things work.
But we do know a little bit. We have heard of the place and we've seen the place where it's, like, all black and then there's, like, a bunch of little glowy points and stars. In Tel'aran'rhiod.
Okay.
So it's just like theoretically, if you kind of look at it like that, we know that in the Tel'aran'rhiod world, those are all like souls.
I think the problem is when she says sparkling lights,
Yeah.
like stars and fireflies. I
I'm
think
not
of
done
like.
my analogy yet.
Oh, sorry, I
That's
interrupted you.
Yeah, I'm not done the analogy. So
Okay.
the whole point is like sparkling lights might represent like people, and we know that the last battle's coming, which could be the darkness. So it's like, you know, a whole bunch of people and lights attacking the darkness, and the darkness is swallowing everybody.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's the last battle.
Or it's all Rand, and the darkness is trying to swallow Rand.
Ooh, okay.
But I picture the sparkling lights literally like a sparkler.
Oh.
I didn't see like little individual points of light.
Okay.
I saw it like fireworks all
Yeah,
around him.
she's talked about it a bunch where it's like kind of eating the individual lights and the lights are like diving into it. And it's
It's
like
just never how I
eating,
pictured it.
so.
I pictured blackness trying to like put out the sparkler.
Okay.
You can't blow out a sparkler though, guys. Eventually it just burns out on its own.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
But I thought like maybe,
Yeah.
you know, the sparkler gets down to the very bottom and it starts
No, I
being
get it.
so
I get it.
small.
I've had birthdays at like Applebee's before, so.
Do we even have an Applebee's?
Well,
Have you ever actually been to an Applebee's? Why
like
did you
once,
say
but not in
that?
Edmonton. Like, where I'm thinking, like, where do you get sparklers? When was the last time I saw sparklers? Like at a restaurant when it's like your birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
That's one place you see them.
We don't buy sparklers. We don't.
I don't know. We always had sparklers on Yom Kippur.
Yeah. That was your family when you were growing up. That wasn't my family.
Okay, well, I know that.
Okay.
But you've seen sparklers.
I know, at Applebee's.
No, you've never been to Applebee's.
Oh my god, that's not the point. There's way more important things to talk about here.
Insert generic restaurant title here.
There you go.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Okay.
More like probably Red Lobster. That's where you probably went.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, let's talk about the second viewing.
Right.
Okay, that one is the aura of yellow, brown, and purple.
Yeah, what's that?
Well,
What's that about?
We kind of learn about that one.
Okay, tell me about it.
Okay, remember how Min is like, hey, I just saw a viewing of you, and Ice and I are going to hurt you?
Yeah, yellow, brown, and purple.
Yeah, like bruising?
Oh, an aura of bruises? Like literally he's going to physically get beat up?
Well, we don't know, but she says that I just had a viewing of you, and there's only 2 viewings that we see here.
And
it's not the black and sparkly one.
No, I know.
It's probably the second one where it's like yellow, black, and brown and purple. Yeah, and it's like, hey, you're gonna get hurt by people who can channel.
Aura.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it as a bruise.
It doesn't mean literally bruising, but it's like an aura of hurt and pain. Like, that's the implication. It's not that.
Okay. Well, I was reading a little more into it. I thought maybe like a yellow sister and a brown sister.
And a purple one, yeah. Infamous purple Aja.
Well, maybe there's like one of them's wearing a purple dress.
Cool.
I don't know.
Oh, man.
I'm just trying.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of anything else.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Because I don't buy the bruise thing.
Yeah, that's like the most basic implication that there is here.
Okay. I didn't get it. I didn't get that.
Yeah, well, Min talks about like, hey, I just saw that.
Yeah, I got that part.
Yeah, it's like that's not a hard connection.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Whatever.
I like your yellow, brown, and purple. That's better than this. I'm just brainstorming here with you.
You're not brainstorm. Okay, whatever. Okay, all right. It's time for Min to go in, and Rand is smiling at her.
Yeah, it's very cute.
He is excited. He missed her.
Yeah.
He likes her a lot.
He's surrounded by these idiot nobles.
They're
so, like,
all
yeah.
idiots.
Terrible.
Yeah, and he really likes Avienda, but he can't, like, be himself around her because he loves her.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know he loves Min.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's like the one person you can just be yourself around. Nope. She's like a dude. She's one of the boys.
One of the dudes.
But it's like better than that because he can tell her stuff that, he doesn't even tell the boys.
Oh,
so,
that's true.
Yeah.
Because the boys kind of suck at communication.
Oh, yeah.
All of them.
Well, they all suck, yeah. And I mean, the
No.
women aren't that much better.
No,
but,
they all suck.
They're all
Even
terrible.
Min sucks at communication. Like, no one understands what's
I mean, to
happening
be
here.
fair, Min's trying her best to be like... She's not even being subtle. She kisses him on the lips when she leaves.
And he's
like,
oh,
oh, she's just she's
prank. Good joke.
Prank, kiss you on the mouth. I do that to all my friends. It's hilarious.
Oh, it's a good joke.
They laugh all the time.
All right, so we actually get a perspective change to Rand.
Yeah.
So we get his perspective throughout this entire interaction now. Rand tosses down his weird dragon scepter and rushes out to see Min. He picks her up, twirls her around, and Rand doesn't even care who's around because he's just too excited to see Min.
Yep.
And then he puts her down, apologizes for making her dizzy, and then she calls him a wool-headed sheep herder.
Yeah, there's
which
a lot of
actually happens way too often in this chapter for my taste.
Sure, no,
it's
that's fair.
Overdone.
He's really being stupid though. Like he doesn't pick up on anything.
She literally calls him sheep herder every other sentence.
Playful banter.
We get it, man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's very cute.
Yeah, he missed her and notices her eyelashes seem to be longer than he remembered. Is that mascara from Lyanna?
Oh, definitely, probably.
Okay, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because we traveled with Swan and Lyanna.
Oh, yeah.
I forget that happened.
Yeah, and Lyanna's pro at this stuff.
At makeup.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Min for sure got some advice on this stuff.
Okay, makeup. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Got it. And that's that whole I'm changing for a man.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it makes her happy to do it.
I mean, yeah, it's do what you want to do, man. You can...
You can wear a dress, you can wear pants, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Do whatever. Now, Rand realizes that they're just in the middle of the hall, so he's like, okay, come on, we gotta go to my room. And they head off. The maidens don't look very happy, and he doesn't understand why.
Yeah, so I just want to clarify on that one, too.
Okay,
so
sure.
Why don't they look happy with him?
Avienda?
Yeah.
Question mark?
It makes sense, yeah. It's literally she just left, and now he's scooping up this woman, and is let's go to my rooms and let's be alone.
Right. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. So when they finally get to the room, he asks her to tell him everything, like where she's been, how she got here, everything that's happened in her life.
Yeah.
What's going on? What are you doing? It's so good to see you.
Fill us in. We're going to get some punch going here. It's going to be a good time.
Wine punch.
Wine punch, yeah.
That's sangria.
Nice.
That's
Delightful.
That's what I would
and
like.
it's like super hot.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, some chilled wine punch.
Love it. Love it.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. And then Rand is going to have like no idea what's happening here for a little bit. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For a lot of it.
The entire time. Yes.
Yes.
The whole time. He doesn't understand anything.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out Rand is not the best with the girls.
Okay. So Min stands by the door for a minute, and then she pulls a letter out of her pocket and is like, I can't tell you where I came from, but Elaine is there.
Yeah.
And Rand's like, yeah, Saladar, I already know.
Yeah, I know that stuff.
And so Min's like, okay, and gives him this letter.
Yeah.
And is like, here, I swore I'd give this to you. And Rand is like, no, not another letter from Elaine.
It's so funny. It's also funny because like Min's totally contemplating, like, she's standing by the door. She doesn't immediately pull the letter. She's like, do I have to do this? Because I just want to like be with him.
Yes.
And friggin' Elaine.
And then Rand recognizes Elaine's writing and is like, what the? No.
Yeah.
Not again.
And then the note makes it worse. So I have it here. So it says,
I don't know, Kate. First of all, I don't know why Elaine thought that this letter was good.
Yeah.
It literally says nothing.
Elaine is bad at writing letters.
Oh my
She
God.
proved that already, and she's just continuing the trend that she's bad at letters. That's okay. Not everyone's good at writing notes. She sucks at it specifically.
This is another. Yeah, it's bad.
This
okay.
is this is
okay,
this
all
is
right.
an Elaine problem.
Okay, fill us in. What does it say?
So it says, Rand, I have made my feelings clear to you. Know
Nope.
that they have not changed.
Nope.
I hope that you feel for me what I feel for you. Min can help you if you will only listen to her. And then this is the good line. I love her like a sister.
Yeah.
And hope you love her as I do.
Yeah.
So, okay. So first off,
Uh-huh.
it's unclear because she sent two opposite letters to him. So when she's
Polar
like,
opposites.
I hope you feel the same way I feel. He's like, what? But then the last
I've
line.
made it clear to you. And
Yeah.
he's like, no.
No, it's not. It's definitely not. It's anything but clear.
Yeah.
But the funniest part is the last line where she's like, I love Min like a sister. I hope you do too.
Yeah.
It's like, that is so undercutting.
It's like setting Min up for this like weird sisterly.
Yeah, like a weird sis. I hope you see Min like a sister.
Yeah.
Weird relationship.
And
then the last lines are hurried.
realistically,
Yeah.
Even if Min loves Rand,
Yeah.
she's like, well, he could not love her and not want to be with her.
That's Min's literal like worry, and she's voiced that before. It's like, yeah, I saw the viewing where I'm gonna love him, but it doesn't say anything about him loving me back in the
Right.
same way. And it's like, she's literally competing with Elaine, the princess / future queen of Andor,
Yeah.
like quintessential princess.
Yes.
And then she's now competing with Avienda, like the fierce desert warrior, Aiel / wise one,
Yeah.
powerful channeler. Mm-hmm. And Min's like, I'm Min, so
Yeah, I think that he likes her best though.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He likes everybody, but I think that like on a relationship level,
On like a healthy relationship
level.
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna be Min.
Okay. He
Yeah.
just needs to get there, and that's kind of her point. Is like, hey, stop viewing me like a boy /
Or
your
a
sister
horse.
or a horse.
Do I look like a horse?
Yeah.
And he's like, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rand is even more confused than he already was about this note, and he just like goes on this whole rant
Yeah.
about, do all women try to drive men crazy?
Yeah.
And he really shouldn't be saying all this stuff to Min.
But he doesn't know any better because he's just like, we're friends.
Yeah, Elaine
so why
is
would
so
it matter?
beautiful, and
This is a good line.
I don't know if she wants me to kiss her or kneel at her feet, and sometimes he does want to kneel and worship.
Yeah.
And
That's super sexual too, by the way.
oh yeah,
Like, it's gotta be.
Is it?
Come on. He's like, sometimes I want to kneel and worship. Like, come on.
Okay.
No?
Maybe. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
I like that version much better.
Well, and in the entire chapter, he's like berating himself again. We know that he's berating himself for all of his like thoughts.
Yeah. Well, and now this letter is super confusing, and he also thinks Avienda's beautiful, but every day with her is a battle, and no kisses from her anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. All that I have like lists and lists of shit that he just like rambles about, and Min is just kind of taking this all in.
Yeah.
and says, "Didn't anyone ever tell you you're not supposed to talk to women about other women?"
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, shoot. Plus, Rand feels like Avienda makes life worth like fighting for. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's all pretty cute stuff that he says. Like, it seems like he's got genuine feelings for both of these women.
Yeah, but in his like heart,
yeah,
knows that he can't be with anyone.
Can't, because dumb Lan, and we're taking Lan advice
we'll
about relationships. Like, why are we even doing this? Oh my gosh.
I know.
No.
Lan's the worst.
We don't take relationship advice from Lan.
No, we take a lot of advice from Lan.
Yeah.
Not
on fighting, killing people, battles and stuff.
Protecting people.
Yeah. Not relationship advice.
No.
Okay.
No. Anyways, Rand makes things way worse by telling Min that she's such a great friend.
Yeah.
And that he doesn't even think of her as a woman.
Yeah.
And then Min is like, okay. She throws back her coat and she's wearing tighter pants than she used to or something.
Bend and snap.
Yeah.
Works every time.
No, this didn't work. Do I look like a boy or
That's
a horse?
because she didn't bend and snap, though.
Oh.
She does like a pose.
Yeah, she's got embroidery on her short coat.
Little ringlets and stuff.
Oh, yeah, she grew her hair out a little bit.
Little bit.
Anyway, Rand's like, I don't know. And then she plops herself down on his lap.
Yep, power move.
And Rand's like, what are you doing? And Min's like, I'm convincing you I'm a woman.
Smell my neck.
Yeah, don't I smell like a woman? And he's like, yeah, you smell like flowers. You smell pretty good. It's so awkward. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And so Rand tries to backtrack and tell her, like, it wasn't supposed to be an insult. I really, 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 really thought at this point they were going to do it.
Just, like, straight up do it?
Yeah.
On the chair? On the throne?
Maybe.
You think that, and you don't think the whole kneel and worship is
Yeah, I don't care about that. Like, semantics.
This is like the blacksmith situation all over again.
Yeah, I really did. I thought, like, but I thought they were in his room. Aren't they, like, in his bed chambers?
Yeah, like a sitting room.
Oh,
he has apartments, right? So it's not just like it's not like a hotel
it was, like,
room.
Off his bed, like bedroom or something.
No, it's like a sitting room in the apartment of the palace of like his chambers, which are like he's probably got a bunch of different rooms. Like
I thought maybe they were close. I thought like maybe this would be like she convinces him, and then it's another like
Avienda's situation. Let's do it.
And they like can't stop each other, and then it's like super clear everyone's feelings, and Min who isn't gonna like hide from him every time she sees him after, a little bit more of a healthy situation. Little bit.
Okay.
I thought like cool, this would be good.
Yeah, that didn't happen though.
Not even close.
Yeah.
She like makes a move and then falls asleep.
So here's the thing.
It's the strangest thing.
Okay, I also have something to say about that because who's gonna do it with him next?
I thought Min.
Well, I want to hear what you think now. Is it Min? Is she gonna close this deal, or is it gonna be like Elaine?
Here's
at
the
some
problem.
Point?
So if Elaine gets to Caemlyn soon, it's gonna be her because she's already found out that Avienda slept with him, and she's a competitive lady.
Oh yeah, she's going in for the kill.
She's going in.
Yeah.
So if Elaine gets there soon, then I think Elaine is going to.
So if Min wants to like jump on the bandwagon,
she's gotta
get there fast.
But if it takes Elaine too long to get there,
then
I
she's got
think
time.
Min will continue pressing.
Okay, slow burn
herself against him.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
And maybe he'll figure it out.
I'm here all night.
Yeah.
I'm here all week. What is it? Yeah.
Yeah, no, all week? Yeah.
All week.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay.
All right. Where are we? What's happening? Not sexy time.
No.
I thought maybe.
I mean, she's kind of trying.
She's kind of
trying it in like in her own way.
Yeah.
She needs more lessons from Lyanna. Maybe. Like if this is what she's trying to go for.
The problem is Rand just like does not believe that this is a thing that could happen.
Yeah. It's like
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Rand's comfortable around her. That's basically it. But Min is not done yet. She asks about Elaine and Avienda, whoever that is. And Min asks him if he loves them both.
Yeah, because we know she knows the viewing, but Rand doesn't know that, like, so.
Maybe I do, but does that make me a terrible person? But it doesn't even matter anymore because I sent Avienda away, and I won't let myself near Elaine. And then Min's like, well, what makes you think that you can make that choice for them? It's a whole thing.
Yeah, this is the land advice. So basically it's like, hey, I'm a target, so any woman who's close to me is then a target, so I'm just never going to let them be close to me ever again, and then problem solved.
Well, it's also like why he left the Two Rivers.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a Two Rivers situation, exactly. That's the same thing, and it worked for the Two Rivers.
Logical. I hate to say.
Like, he's
it's not romantic, and it's not floofy, and it's not wonderful.
He's not wrong that sure it'll protect them, but Min's right in the sense like that's not up to you to decide if they want to put themselves in danger to be with you. Like, that's up to them.
Yeah.
They can make that decision. They're all grown women. They can do that.
Right.
So.
And then we fast forward to Min ignoring all of that, wriggling around in his lap, which is like such a gross way to say that.
Yeah.
Like,
is it
there
worse
are
than
so
tickling?
many. Yeah. Like, there are so many sexual ways you can say this.
Sure.
And wriggling in someone's lap is the opposite of sexy for me.
Well, it is for Rand too, because he's like, what's happening?
No, it's not, because he clears his throat and he's like,
it's been a while. He might. He doesn't think of her at all that way right now.
Okay, so she wriggles in his lap and says, I'll convince you I'm not a man or a horse. And then Rand is like, oh man, you're so funny.
Yeah, prank.
Hilarious. You're such a funny friend.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also funny because he's like, oh, you just see me as some dumb backcountry, totally non-sexual friend person, don't you?
And Min's like, no, I see you, Rand. I see you.
And it's like super heartfelt, and she's like trying to be like getting through to him here.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And then she just continues to sit on his lap. And then changes the subject completely to the embassy from Saladar here to see him.
And I have to actually say, it's kind of funny, but in my opinion, in my professional opinion, this situation is 100% realistic, where he picks up on zero of the cues, and he doesn't actually understand that she likes him.
Yeah.
I understand it, and it's real.
Yeah.
So.
Uh-huh.
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 I have nothing else to say about that topic.
That's fair. Me neither. Okay, so Rand asks about which of the Aes Sedai came with her, and Min says there's not just one, there's 9. It's meant to honor you.
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird implication, too, because he's like, who's the one Aes Sedai who came here with you as the embassy? But keep in mind, Rand thinks that there's like maybe tops 50 Aes Sedai and Saladar, so the fact that there's 9 here, that'd be like 20% almost, or like a fifth of literally the entirety of the Saladar Aes Sedai would be coming here. Mm-hmm. So he's thinking like, oh, maybe it's like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Because he thinks there's basically none there.
Yeah, he's wrong.
Yeah, he's for sure wrong, so.
Anyway, Min goes on to say that these Aes Sedai are not here to do him any harm, and he asks if that's a viewing or her opinion.
Yes.
And she's like, well, it is my opinion, but I did journey with them from Saladar, and I feel like I would have been able to tell if they do intend you harm.
Yeah, so she's thinking that, hey, I would have seen some sort of viewing at some point, and she hasn't. So
But she did see the viewing of him.
As soon as she saw him here.
That Aes Sedai are going to hurt him.
But not specifically Aes Sedai.
No,
and that's
women
the big...
who can channel.
Yeah, so that's kind of the problem. So the number one problem with that is like there's no time limit on her viewing. So this doesn't mean that it's going to be anytime soon. Like we've seen that before.
And I mean like define hurt. Right?
Exactly. I mean, that's what I was saying. It's like, very loosey-goosey terms, especially with like the viewing colors and stuff. Like that's my first thought process for what the colors can mean. But then the second side is like she doesn't know that they mean Aes Sedai. She just knows women who can channel. But that's a lot of people, because we could be talking like which faction we could talk about, wise ones.
Yeah,
with
and
the
you know
Aiel.
what? He hasn't really been very nice to the sea folk.
I was gonna say the sea folk. They might want to like beat him up a little bit for like dodging them for so long. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just like a little couple punches, like I would understand that. There's the Forsaken, the Dreadlords. We got the Sharan channelers, and then we've got like the Shanshan, obviously.
And
right.
The word hurt could mean emotionally.
It could.
And it could be Elaine
because
and
she's
Avienda.
Not Aes Sedai specifically. So.
Or Egwene.
It could mean a lot of people, and that's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Time limit, and then who is it really talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And how. Yeah. So Rand asks Min if he's sure the Aes Sedai in her viewing aren't the same one she came with, and she's like, I think so, probably.
Yeah, pretty sure. She's confident.
Now, good friend, Luz Theron.
He's popping back in a little bit.
What a good friend that guy is.
He's looking out for the pair of them.
He is looking out for himself. He doesn't know there's a pair of them.
That's true. He's like, every once in a while he figures it out.
My
And he's
good
like,
friend.
runs off.
Oh, good. Good buddy Luz. He does some muttering about even half-trained girls can be dangerous with 9 of them.
Yes.
And then we get a little bit of a tidbit that he's contemptuous of these women who call themselves Aes Sedai now.
Yeah.
So he is getting pretty dang aware
Little
of
bit.
what is going on.
He's peeking. He's looking.
Yeah,
he's looking.
I see you.
And then Ren's like, shut it. And then he's like, ah! And he runs off into Ren's brain.
But that's interesting.
Okay.
We do get a tidbit, too, that it was Luz Theron's suggestion to have 3 Aes Sedai come to meet him at a time.
Yes.
Because that's what Luz Theron seems to believe he can handle.
Yeah, 3 is like a safe number. I can for sure handle 3.
Yeah.
So that's like the safe amount.
But 3 women who can channel in the Age of Legends?
That's the thing,
Because
possibly.
that's way different than 3 women who can channel now.
That's the thing. So, and that's a whole like safety net too. Like 3 isn't like, oh my god, that's the maximum.
Because it depends completely on which 3 and how strong.
Power levels and all that too.
Yeah.
But it seems like 3 is like, it's a pretty safe number. Like he's not at all concerned about the 3.
And
so
it's probably safe to say
sure
that these women from Saladar aren't practicing in their bedrooms.
Yeah.
Holding as much power
which is
and
what you
attacking
think which is what you think they're doing. Yeah.
as
totally.
they could possibly do, which really feels like
throwing fireballs into the fireplace and practicing.
Whatever the hell they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, practicing holding as much power as possible for meeting Rand.
Yes.
That's what it sort of seemed like.
Okay.
And these women don't seem to be doing that.
Yeah.
They don't really seem to be going on the offense.
Not yet. Not yet.
We'll see.
Yeah. But anyways, Rand has a couple other rules too. So he does tell Min about the whole like, hey, 3 can come at a time. Because it's interesting, initially, Min tells him like, hey, I'm on your side. I'll do whatever you want. I'll
even
say
lie to them.
I'll lie to them. I'll report to you about what they're doing.
I'll tell you all my visions. Like, my loyalty is to you.
Plus, they don't know about her visions.
Right.
Which is like kind of a big deal too. But specifically, Min tells him.
Unless Swan shared that.
Possible. Like, she's Aes Sedai again. It's possible.
Well, and before she was Aes Sedai, when she was trying to, like, win some favor and manipulate the situation.
Yeah.
She was probably sharing things that she knew.
Yeah.
Like, she would keep some things close. No, I changed my mind. She didn't share it.
Okay, secret
I think that Swan would keep that because she can use it to her own advantage.
Totally.
Yeah.
That makes sense for a Swan.
Sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, I was going to say, Min tells Rand that initially the Saladar plan is to only send 1 sister to come see him anyways. But Rand says, you know what? Tell them they can send 3.
Good faith.
So, right. And this kind of puts them on equal footing with the Kyrianan side of things, too, with the White Tower. So it's like, hey, 3 at a time for both sides. Yeah. It's like equal. And then the other rules are you can't come in the inner city without permission.
Same with Alana.
Exactly. And then you're also not allowed to channel or hold the source around me at all, because I'll know. I'll know.
Tell them I'll know.
Yeah, there you go. And we know that he can really tell. So.
Yeah, and then there's a big crash that makes Rand whip around, and I was like, oh my god, what's happening?
Gray man or something.
I thought something
assassin.
Big, I literally thought something big was happening.
Totally. I bet Rand did too, which is why he like whips around.
Sulin, the worst maid in the world, has come in and spilled the tray of shit.
Well,
everywhere.
and you know why probably too.
Was she surprised to see a woman on Rand's lap?
Probably, maybe a little bit of that, because we got the maidens beforehand, and then she makes the comment afterwards. But it's like Sulin comes in with the wine. Avienda just left, and now Min still plopped on his lap.
Yeah,
and she's like, "What?" And,
wriggling around.
And either she dropped it because of shock, or because it's Sulin, and she's
purpose.
like, "F this noise."
Yeah.
Throw this tray down.
Mm-hmm. And then Min tries to like get out of Rand's lap, but he pulls her down to make a point about how he's done with Avienda.
Yeah.
Which is like, whatever. Everyone, God.
Yeah.
So now,
yeah, it's super annoying.
Yeah,
but...
Rand lectures Sulin on being a good servant.
Yeah. He's actually helping her.
He is.
Because
the more he humiliates her, the faster she'll meet her toe or
and
something.
he doesn't like her doing this. Nobody likes her doing this, let's be honest.
No, and she looks terrible in this
and
dress.
she's bad at it. She does a bad job. But yeah, he's helping her meet the toe by being even more shamed than she otherwise would be.
Yeah.
So, okay, good for him. He's like,
Yeah.
he's understanding the IEL stuff.
And he says that this is Min, and I will be very unhappy if anything bad happens to her or if any harm comes to her.
Yeah.
I'll consider it done to me.
Don't beat her up.
And Sulan's like, I don't even care. Only Avienda will.
Yeah. Why would anybody but her care about this?
Yeah.
I don't care at all.
I don't care.
That's Sulan. She's the worst.
Right. And then right away, it seems like
Okay.
Mullane comes in.
So here's the thing. This is the way I make this make sense in my brain. There's a time lapse. There's a a little bit of time between Sulan leaving.
Because it really didn't seem like there was a time lapse to me.
No, and that's the thing. There's nothing in the writing that says there's a time lapse, but that's the only thing that makes sense. Like, there was enough time for Min, because she's been traveling, like, for a long time and hasn't really slept.
Came in the night. And,
yeah. And it's enough time for her to, like, be snuggled on his lap and then drift off to sleep. Like, we're talking 20 minutes, half an hour, maybe of snuggling.
Okay, because in my notes, my notes literally read, then Mullane comes and Min seems to have fallen asleep.
Like, immediately.
Against his chest.
Yeah.
And he doesn't wake her up, which is so weird, LOL.
Yeah.
That's what my notes say right here. Because
It makes more sense, though. What? Like, you got to admit, it makes more sense if it was, like, a 20-minute, half an hour of her, like, snuggling. And Rand just, like, sitting there in silence.
And then, like, maybe they were chatting a little bit.
Maybe, and, like, she drifts off or something.
You're pulling at straws, because this makes literally zero sense.
Time lapse. You know how they put the three little stars on the page when there's, like, a little bit of a time break?
Yeah, they didn't do that here.
They didn't, but it was also, like, in my book, it was at the bottom of the page. And then at the top of the page, when I turn the page, it's Mullane. So it's like, makes sense in my head.
Yeah.
That's the best I got.
You know what this reminds me of? Complete side note. Do you want to hear this random story
about
about
me? Yeah, might as
me?
well. Okay, go.
In, like, junior high, we had to do these video projects
with,
like, a camcorder.
Okay.
And in my backyard, my friends and I wrote a murder mystery.
Nice. Okay.
About somebody dying, and then somebody seeing it happen, and then no one believing them.
Oh, man.
It was like a whole thing. It was
like before murder mysteries were, like, super popular,
it was good. And there was one point at which, so I was the one who saw the murder.
Okay.
And no one believed me.
Yeah.
And I had this picnic table in my backyard growing up, and I'm sitting at it, and in our movie we made, I'm going, no one believes me. I'm sure I saw it. And then I fall asleep at the picnic table. And then the murderers come and capture me.
Oh, no.
Because I've fallen asleep.
Shouldn't
and it's
have fallen asleep.
I knew I did. And then I just fall right to sleep.
So just, like, no explanation.
No explanation. And it doesn't make any sense. And it's like, why did you just fall asleep?
So you and your crew were at least as good as Robert Jordan.
And that's what I thought of this, like, stupid,
that's really funny,
random thing. Because, no. So dumb. Okay.
I thought you were going to tell the story about when you fell asleep during a movie on a date.
Oh, I also did that.
At the movie theater?
I also fell asleep. That was real, though, and I was very hungover.
Yeah. So, like, different situation.
I was very hungover on a date in a movie theater. Well,
maybe they had some chilled wine, too. Maybe they had a couple.
Yeah.
Few too many.
I just, no, not that. I don't talk about that.
Anyways, let's continue. Mm-hmm. Some time passes, and then Mullane comes in.
I don't think so.
Some time passes, and then Mullane comes in.
That's a weird servant. Time to have a nap. Okay. So she's fallen asleep. Mullane comes in, doesn't even really acknowledge.
No, she, like, looks and, like, comes and sits down.
Yeah. Tells him she has news, and the first is that Egwene has left the Kyrianan tents and has gone to Saladar, where there are Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
And then she goes on a bit of a rant about how these sisters are terrible, undisciplined, full of themselves, and Rand figures that the Kyrianan Dreamwalkers have finally talked to her.
Yeah. So even if Rand had not learned about Saladar, he now would have, because Mullane just told him.
And Min.
Oh, well, Min didn't tell. Yeah, Min didn't tell.
That's right.
But I mean, either way, he would have found out by now, so.
Okay. And he does note that the relationship between the Wise Ones and the Aes Sedai have changed.
Yeah, because previously it was like all awestruck and woo, Aes Sedai, powerful. And now it's like, they're the worst. Have you met them ever? They suck.
Yeah. So now he also fills Mullane in about how he knows.
Yeah.
About all of that. And also, there are 9 Aes Sedai here from Saladar.
Yes, so we all have to be on watch.
Yeah. Now, Melane's second piece of news is that she thinks Rand must be wary of the Aes Sedai and use a firm hand with them because they'll respect nothing else.
Yeah, that's good advice. That's like generally good advice.
Mm-hmm. And this whole time, Min is just sleeping on his lap.
She's like drifting in and out. She's like half, the half asleep when you're like a little bit asleep, but you're not fully asleep.
Not when there's like some random person.
Just go with it, okay? Go with it.
So she rustles a bit and says out loud, "You'll have 2 daughters, twins like mirrors."
Yes.
And Melane's like, "What?"
What did you just say, sleeping girl?
Yeah.
Yes. How do you know that?
How do you know that? I wasn't even sure. I was with Child until this morning. And then Min wakes up fully and is like, "Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Just shouldn't have said that."
Shouldn't have said that out loud, but I was like half dream. You know when you're like half dreaming, you're half awake, half asleep?
I do know that.
It's a thing that can happen, and it happened here. That's all we have to talk about. It
God,
happened.
It's the freaking worst. This might be the worst thing I've read in a very long time. This scene was awful.
Okay, next chapter is way better, though, so let's
let's get to it.
Power through here.
Rand is like, "You can trust them. Tell your secret," and Min goes on to explain everything. Melane's very interested and is basically like, this is interpreting the dream without dreaming.
Yeah, there's like a mutual respect here too that we kind of find out.
And then they like sit cross-legged together holding hands talking about childbirth.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a funny sequence too because they are sitting and talking about this, and then Rand clears his throat and he's like and then
because they forgot about him and he's like, "Hello,
yeah.
I'm very important."
But they think that he's like,
He's
"Oh, don't talk
uncomfortable.
about childbirth because it's gross and
he's like,
bodily fluids." And he's like, "Buddy, I've had my elbow, like I've been up to my shoulder in a cow,
birthing fluid." He says, "Yeah,
like to haul a horse out or
farm
whatever."
animals
So
giving birth."
yeah, so that
Yeah.
doesn't wig him out, but
Yeah.
no,
he's more annoyed that they're acting like he's not even here, and he's
Yeah.
used to being the center of attention always, and he can't handle it.
he wants to be.
Can't handle this.
Yeah,
Which is not a good
it's
look.
his room. If they want to talk, they can go somewhere else.
Good look.
They can go somewhere else if they want to just chit chat
Not a good look.
about dumb things like babies.
Anyway, so he says sarcastically, "Before I faint, maybe one of you can talk more about the Aes Sedai."
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
they all talk about this situation.
I have a summary of the Aes Sedai.
I don't.
I do, because you're going to have to learn names of Aes Sedai.
Not yet.
You have to.
Not yet.
We get all of them.
I'll learn them when they're here and they're talking.
Okay.
That's when I'll take notes on them, when I need to keep them straight. Right now, I literally know nothing about them.
That's fair.
I didn't even take note of it because it doesn't matter.
That's fine. I totally didn't take notes on everybody's names and Ajahs and what they're,
If you say it now, I will not retain it and it won't matter.
You won't retain it anyways, but it's a matter of getting
I'll
things
retain
on
it
the
when
record.
it matters.
On the record. On recording.
So you want to go through 9 names and 9 Ajahs right now?
I mean,
We're already running long.
oh, fine. We can skip it. But I'm going to come back to it, and then you're going to listen.
People are going to want to know.
I'm going to quiz you.
Can you do it quick?
Okay.
Okay, I don't want to know, but I think other people want to know.
Okay, so we got Marana, who's a gray. She's in charge.
And, okay, have we heard any of these names before? Because literally not one seemed familiar.
A little bit. A couple, but mostly no.
Okay.
Okay, Marana's in charge. She's the gray. It's just important to point out that the grays are in charge of both embassies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're the negotiators,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then we got Karen.
Probably negotiated their way to the front.
Yeah, that's fair. That's also what their job is to, like, negotiate stuff with rulers. But anyways, we got Karen, who's a blue, and she and Marana are Andoran, and they're worried about Rand murdering Morgaze, which is not true, but it's a concern of theirs. We got Raphella, who's a blue, who likes the changes that Rand made in Tyr, because Tyr doesn't like channelers. We've got Seonid, who's a green, and she's worried about Kyrian. We've got Thealdrin, who's a green, who is comparing the Dragonsworn stuff that happened in Altara and Mirandi to the stuff that happened in Terabon, but we know that that's kind of like 2 different factions of Dragonsworn going on here. Then we've got Demira, who's a brown, and she likes Rand because she heard about the school that he started in Kyrian, so she's like, hey, anyone who starts a school has got to be a good person.
Okay with me.
Love it. Okay, then we've got Berenicia, who's a yellow, and she's from Shinar, and she's heard about the whole Faldara meeting with Agelmar, so she's also like, hey, must be a good dude then, because
If
Agelmar knows
would
what's
sit
up.
With him, yeah.
Yeah, and then Masuri, who's a brown, is from Arafel, and also likes the Agelmar thing, because, Borderlands, and all that. And then we've got Valinda, who's a white, and she's very eager to have Rand drive Samael out of Ilion.
Oh.
So it's just a really funny thing, because each of the Aes Sedai still hold on to their national allegiances, kind of sort of, even though they're not supposed to. But anyways, my big question for you: we know that the Cairhienin embassy has Black Aja sisters in it.
Yeah.
Do you think that any of these sisters here are Black Aja?
Well, here's the deal.
It'd be secretly.
Obviously. Here's the thing, though. The most important difference is that there's no Reds here. So there's no severe contempt for men. Never mind men who can channel.
Yeah.
And so already the Tower Embassy is at a disadvantage. They're already, suspicious and, Rand would be stupid to trust them.
For sure.
This one is a little different. They're rebels. There's no Reds. And I mean, maybe there's a Black Aja or two. I'm less concerned about that.
Okay.
I'm more concerned about Red Aja.
Just sneaky plots and stuff. You know how they're like, so you know.
Yeah, the sneaky plots and the... I'm not against Dark Friends. I feel like the Dark One wants Rand alive.
Sure. I mean, you're not wrong. He does. He's not trying to kill him.
Yeah, we've got a lot of little Dark Friends coming out of the woodwork, which I'm actually going to talk about next chapter.
Okay.
I'm concerned.
Okay, fair. Okay. I'm trying to think, but it's I don't actually have an idea for this one.
Okay, we'll get to it.
Yeah, okay.
Because we're about done here, almost.
Right.
So, basically, this entire conversation, Melaine says she doesn't trust any Aes Sedai. They have no honor, except for Egwene Alvir, and, that's the end.
Yeah.
And then, when they're done talking, Rand says he'll show as much respect as he can without kneeling until they show proof of goodwill, and he won't trust them.
Yeah. And he thinks hey, that should make them happy, but it doesn't.
Not really.
No.
Everyone's kind of upset.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Rand notes that Melaine and Min have seemed to form a bit of a bond.
Yes.
Because of their earlier conversation. And, the Aiel tend to revere special talents.
Yeah, they like this stuff.
They like that
They're
stuff.
ooh, cool, we can learn stuff from dreams and dreaming and viewings and...
Yeah.
we want to take something out of it.
They're into it, right? And so she says that she didn't think she would like Min, but she does, and she's going to name one of her girls after her.
Yeah.
Now, here's the question.
Okay.
Is she naming her Min, or is she naming her Elmindrada?
Oh, well, probably Min, because Min didn't introduce herself as Elmindrada.
I know, but it, might...
Maybe.
Come out that, that's her actual name.
And she's
Never mind.
Well, I don't think that Min likes the name Elmindrada either,
Is
so...
Min... I wonder if that'll be, a super strange name on an Aiel.
Oh.
I can't tell the difference between super weird names, because, all names are weird and crazy here.
Sure.
But there has to be some... in Robert Jordan's mind, knowing as much as he does about cultures and countries and different places in the world, having series of names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, names from different places than you're from sound a little bit different.
Yeah.
For me, all names in this series sound terrible.
Okay, name some Aiel women names. Go.
Oh, it's all at the end. Elmindrada would fit.
It could.
Aviendra, Melindra,
Dorinda. But there's Amis and Bear, right? So it's
There's
different.
Lots.
Min kind of fits in some senses, but it's a good question.
Just in my side mind, I was thinking
I thought you were going to ask is that a Aiel custom of out of respect, name the child after the first person who found out about them.
Oh, maybe.
Right? So maybe there's some sort of connection there.
That sounds like an Aiel thing, actually.
It does. It's you told me about them first, so I'll give you the honor. So
yeah. And then also Bale needs to also know.
Yeah, because he's going to get jelly that Rand already knows.
Right.
Oh.
And basically before Melaine leaves, she says, make sure Min has your protection around because the Aes Sedai will harm her if they learn she is sworn to you.
Yeah, because that is secret right now, apparently.
Okay. So, that's enough of that. That was a long time. Chapter 42.
Yeah, let's do this.
The Black Tower.
Yeah, we made it.
To balance the White Tower.
This is a big chapter.
Yeah.
It's a big chapter because it's this is a big thing that's happening here.
It's a pretty big reveal.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it kind of makes sense. There's been hints throughout the chapters in the last 2 books that we might have get here at some point.
Well, and I mean this whole farm thing.
Yeah.
Of course it was going to grow into something and it's a institution.
Yeah, especially when Rand's hey, grow it to as big as the White Tower. It's not like you're going to keep it in a barn here.
What's interesting is Rand's reaction to the name. And what's interesting is how it was named.
Okay.
I thought that Rand would come up with it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because, I mean...
Yeah. Rand's being kind of a butt.
Full disclosure,
Yeah.
it's pretty impossible for me not to have heard of the name the Black Tower.
Yeah,
like,
you have heard of it.
and that before.
But that's the thing, is like, that's an easy comparison.
But where does that come up? Where
Yeah.
does that... Like, all of the specifics around it, I had no idea.
Well,
and so I
yeah.
was surprised by the fact that it wasn't invented or named by Rand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Specifically was surprising to me. And the fact that he's not even sure how he feels about the name is interesting.
So my point about that, I'm going to highlight this entire chapter here, is that I'm actually on Taim's side for a lot of his feelings, because Rand's a total butthole in this chapter.
Interesting.
In my opinion, I think Rand is a total butt.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'll just kind of like play. Okay, so apparently it sounds like you have a different perspective.
I do,
so I'll just kind of like
100%.
I'll play a little devil's advocate then for it.
Okay.
Because I think Rand's a total jerk.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
So, chapter symbol, the dragon, of course. And we are in our Rand perspective. Rand and Min are alone together now that Melena's left, and they kind of stand there for like a quiet minute.
Yeah.
And then Rand's like, "Would you like to come to the farm with me?" And Min's like, "Duh, fuck is that?"
Yeah.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Don't go to the secondary location.
"It's the school for the men who can channel." And Min's like, "Oh, fuck, no."
Oh, definitely no. No, I got things that I got to report back. I got like a
Oh
list.
my
I got to go
God.
shopping. Got a ton of stuff.
Oh my god, I'm so busy.
Okay, it's kind of sad though,
Gotta
because
wash my hair.
Rand literally doesn't understand why the people who are closest to him, like Min, are so opposed to the idea of men channeling, because he's a man who can channel.
Yeah, but they could barely get past that, and they could understand the idea that he's the Dragon Reborn, and he's supposed to still channel.
I know that, and you know that, but he doesn't put that together, that it's like people have formed an exception in their minds of him, where it's okay for him to channel, but everybody else doing it is weird.
It's weird and terrible and scary and bad.
Yeah.
Because that's what they've learned their entire lives.
And I understand why he kind of takes like a bit of like a hurt feeling towards that. Because it's like, hey, you're what you can do, I don't like that, and I'll accept that you can do it, but everybody else like that, no thanks.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty hurtful.
Yeah. So anyways, she's like, "I'm gonna leave," and everyone's like, "Take care of yourself," and then she stands up on tiptoe to give him a kiss on the lips. And he's like, "Hilarious."
Yeah.
Hilarious, Min. You're so funny.
Kiss your friends on the lips to say bye, no big deal.
Okay. And then Rand berates himself because he is nothing but a randy goat.
Oh, I love that so much. Randy Goat.
Randy goat.
Randy Goat.
Oh my
okay.
gosh, don't be such a randy goat, Rand.
It's so good.
Yeah. And he thinks Min's just like teasing him, having fun.
Just like friends do.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
And so he goes to his drawer, pulls out his moderate-sized cloth bag.
He's got two bags. One's a moderate-sized one. One's like a small velvet one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. And then we get a bunch of information about a blacksmith and a goldsmith.
Yeah.
One was nice and one was bad.
Goldsmith was mean. Tried to steal and stuff probably or whatever.
Charged him too much.
Yeah.
And the other one tried to do it for free.
Yeah.
For the honor.
Yes.
We'll learn about that later.
Yes. Okay.
So Rand has his trip to the farm planned, and
It's been planned for a while.
And you know what's interesting? Looking back at this interaction,
Yep.
he wanted Min here for this.
Yes.
He invited Min to come with him
to see the speech.
For the speech.
Yeah. He needed some emotional support.
Oh!
Rand isn't good at speeches. He needed he needed someone in the audience rooting for him.
Woo!
Yeah, to start, they're like, yeah, okay.
Rand.
Nice.
Dragon
Good idea. Love the name. Love it. Love the explanation of the name even more.
Woo! Yeah.
So he doesn't have that.
Doesn't. And
No.
Min would not have been that. Even if she went because she like felt bad or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Nope, she wouldn't have been. Anyways.
No. It's just funny thinking about how she wanted Min here for this.
Yeah.
He wanted her here. It's so funny.
It's cute.
God. Okay. So now he doesn't particularly like Taim.
Yeah.
But he's heard that he's been doing a good job at keeping the students out of the city. And now at this point, news of the 9 sisters from Saladar might make things escalate.
Yeah.
So he has to talk to...
He wants to get it out in the open so they know from him, like, what's going on with that.
Right.
Because it's really go from, like, oh, it's 9 sisters to 9 red sisters to 90 red sisters, and then,
Now, at your best guess,
Okay.
or maybe
Sure.
how long about has it been since Rand has been here? Like, this has escalated rather quickly.
You could probably estimate, like, a couple weeks or so to a month, quite possibly.
Okay.
We
could probably go back and actually track it,
yeah,
but, like, off the top
I'd
of
say
your head,
between
I was
a couple
wondering.
weeks to 2 months. Like, it's been, like, a little bit of time, but not, like, a crazy amount of time.
No, because I was like, I feel like we were just there.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Keep in mind,
I haven't done a good job of keeping track of timelines.
No,
in this book.
no. But it's like, it hasn't been, like, 6 months. It's been, like, maybe a month or 2.
Okay. And then before he leaves, we actually get this little bit of a side note about Alana and how she's still in his head, basically.
Yes. Well, the important part about that is that he felt like she was eager this morning, and now he's like, okay, so the 9 sisters is really 11 because Varen and
Chances
Alana...
are they know, and
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he goes on the whole, like, oh my god, 13 can scoop me up, no big deal.
Yeah.
So we gotta be careful about that.
Aha. Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah.
Okay. So Rand considers getting the maidens, but then, on a whim,
Yeah.
he just decides to open a gateway and go by himself.
I don't need guards.
Completely against all the Aiel rules, and they are going to hate this.
I mean, it sounds like he does this fairly often.
Yeah, but they're still going to hate it.
Yeah.
They're mad at him when he does things like this.
Which he does, like, apparently enough times that is, like, a thing, too.
That is the thing that they're mad about all the
yeah.
time.
They're like, quit it. When you go somewhere, we have to go with you. Because
like-
protection and stuff.
He's like, yeah.
It's no big deal. I just
maybe.
go on the farm.
Whatever. So Rand opens a gateway, goes to the farm, and right away sees that things have changed here since he was here last. And the farmhouse looks like it's been repaired and built up bigger. The barn has been rebuilt entirely. There's more farm animals, and the forest is cleared back. There's tents everywhere. And
There's more houses.
more houses, more women and children. The biggest difference is there's well over 100 students right now.
Here we go. Yes. Well over 100, so that's pretty big.
And so Rand has no idea that things were going this well.
Yes. So he hasn't been back since there was like 7 and there was only like the one broken down house or whatever it was and half a barn or something.
Right.
So
Well,
it's like-
no, because we were there and there was a bunch that they tested.
Yeah.
And then there was like 7 who could. Or
Exactly.
something, right?
But
Yeah.
now there's like literally like over 100 who can channel.
Right.
So that's why I said like it's probably about a month or 2. Like it's going pretty well, pretty fast when we're looking at matching the tower in less than a year.
Yeah. And Rand feels the sense of Sidene in the air, and the students are all in these high-collared black coats.
Yes.
All training either with the power or practicing with the sword.
Yes, or with their hands and feet because there's an Aiel here too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So, one of the black-coated men comes over to Rand and, like, sneers at him.
Yeah.
And is like, who are you? Suppose you've come to the Black Tower to learn? You should have come by Gateway,
Yeah.
not just wandering here by yourself.
Fancy coat, fancy coat. Something
Yes.
about that too.
And Rand's like, I'm Rand.
Well, no, he's gonna lose it on this guy,
Oh.
and he like holds himself back. He's like, "Don't snap on this man."
Yeah.
So he like
So he says quietly, I'm Rand Althor.
Yeah.
And the guy almost starts to challenge Rand. And he's like, you don't look so grand to me.
Yeah. So they know who he like his name.
Yeah. And then Rand sees a flow of air hit this guy on the side of the head, and he like crumples unconscious to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Taim walks up and is like, sometimes we have to have hard discipline. You can't tell a man he has the power to make the earth shake, then expect him to walk small.
Okay. So this is gonna be the start of my like. I'm actually on Taim's side on the way he's talking about this.
Okay.
So in Taim's perspective, Rand gave him the mission to build up a school and mash the tower within a year. So Taim is doing that, and he's doing a damn good job. And when you're doing that, you have to take everybody. You can't just take the guys with the best person. You're taking
The best
everyone.
attitudes
You're
or
taking the
whatever.
good, the bad, the ugly, because the point is to create weapons who can basically kill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the point of this Black Tower. That's what Rand wants, is weapons.
Yes.
So Taim is creating weapons for Rand.
Yes.
So, like, the
That's
dude's
fine.
a dick,
This part's
and he's
fine.
got to discipline him. So I'm just like, number one, I'm on Taim's side here.
This part's fine.
'Kay.
You know whose side I'm on?
Rand?
Nope.
Sora or whatever her name, the woman who
Nope.
like mean mugs him again?
No. You're forgetting the best character in this scene.
Who
lives in Rand's head.
Oh, Lews Therin.
Lews Therin.
Yeah, kill them all. Kill them all.
No, not just that. Specifically right here, he says, I should have killed him when I had the chance.
Sure.
About Taim.
Yeah, but he says it every time he sees Taim.
No, but this one like specifically stood out to me.
Okay.
And I think, I've had some time to think about this now.
Okay.
I think Taim is somebody also reborn.
What? What do you mean?
I think that Lews Therin recognizes Taim and his like soul.
How? Okay, go. Are we talking like Forsaken?
Potentially.
But that wouldn't be a reborn soul. That'd be the same person.
No, that would be the same person. So those are the two options. So he is either Forsaken somehow or something.
Are you saying that for real or?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
Because like that's a pretty big implication if you're like Taim is secretly
Forsaken.
a Forsaken. Which I mean is like, okay, hypothetically.
Like maybe he's actually maybe. Okay,
no, what were you gonna say?
No, this is the new theory. They killed like the Dark One.
They killed the real
Taim
and it's like stand-in.
And then Osingar is now dropped in as the new Taim in like same body
disguise or whatever.
Same body disguise and
even just like do the weave that makes you look different because it's not like they're hugging.
And Lews Therin recognizes who this is as a bad guy.
Interesting.
From his time.
Okay.
And is like, should have killed him when I had the chance. Okay, I think that's wild, and I actually don't think that's what it is.
Okay.
But
I'm just trying to figure out if I can make that work from what we've seen.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
So...
Because I'm just trying to think, like, when did we get introduced to Taim? When did Rand, like, do the amnesty thing? When did Taim come in to, like, meet with Rand about that? And they start the school.
Because because Osingar is the beginning of this book.
Yeah, it's like very beginning.
And then we see...
Yeah.
Because we've already seen... And I wouldn't have thought that until we saw Gar or whatever walk up.
Yeah, totally.
As somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, pretending with a different name.
Yeah.
So...
Because you can do that. You can just, like... be like, hey, this is my name now.
Yeah, you can just do that.
Yeah.
So that...
Okay.
More likely...
Yeah.
People, in general, are reborn.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a thing.
And so, potentially, Taim is somebody...
Okay.
Reborn who Lews Therin recognizes. Because when Rand saw all the Heroes of the Horn... They recognized his soul as Lews Therin.
Yeah, they're like, hey, man.
Hey, man.
That's you.
We know you.
Yeah.
And so this is like a recognizing a soul situation.
I love it.
So...
Is it someone that we know or have heard of? Or is it like someone who is like, we're going to get that information later, maybe upon a reveal?
Definitely it's someone we've heard of.
Okay.
Definitely. It's going to be a reveal.
Okay.
It's going to be a something.
Okay. I don't feel like this is a fully formed idea.
It's not.
Okay, but develop it. I like that.
Yeah.
I like where you're going with it. So
I wrote in my notes, uh-oh.
So that's why he's like, I should have killed him long ago. I should have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this is he clearly has like this hate, this disdain, this contempt for Taim.
Okay.
Like he knows him.
Yeah.
Right?
And not just referring back to like when he wanted to kill Taim the first time he met him.
Even referring back to then.
Okay.
Because he wanted to kill him. Because he recognized him.
Okay.
Or his soul or whatever.
So here's a question just to kind of like riff off that a bit. So if Taim is indeed some sort of like soul...
Maybe it's Baalzamon. Because Lews Therin and Ishmael have a thing and that's Baalzamon. And,
that's true.
Right? That's a...
Yeah, she's gone. He's been gone for a while. He's been gone since book 3.
Maybe
he's come back.
Put back in Taim's body.
Okay.
Or...
I'm not saying that it doesn't work. That's a potential. So I was going to say, like, if it was like a reborn soul situation, is Taim aware of that? But it doesn't really work. My question doesn't really work with what you're saying now. If it's like, actually, it's a Shamael.
Okay. I have a couple more theories throughout this chapter.
Should we go further? Okay.
Okay, so LTT is in Rand's head saying, I should have killed Taim. And then he reaches for the source, like he's about to try to kill Taim.
He wants to do it.
And Rand yells at him to go away, and he does. He flees.
Wow.
He flees.
Yelling, okay.
And Taim calls 2 men over to take the unconscious man off.
Yes.
But he says no healing.
Yeah.
And just as a reiteration about how Taim has been teaching them, it's you use the power always.
Yes.
So even to carry the guy off, they use the power to lift him up.
Yeah.
And like
and
hovercraft him away.
It's progression, right? And that's the whole concept that we have to understand of what Taim is doing. Is Rand said, teach him fast, teach him strong, be hard on them. So you have to use the power for literally everything to increase that learning speed.
Well, that was Taim who decided that. That wasn't Rand.
It was Taim who was like, this is how we got to do it, and then Rand was like, okay, do it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, but that's the thing, is like the White Tower goes super slow, Black Tower has to go fast. We got to get that done. So, but it is interesting that Taim knows like a little bit of healing. So his thing is like, the first thing I do is teach them healing. So because like if someone gets hurt, then they are not going to die.
And it's already proven to be
It's
useful.
a good strategy. Like teach the battlefield healing technique. Like let's get them not dead.
And there might be a couple who have a talent for it or something.
Yeah,
right?
like talents are,
like, who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe
men have talents for channeling too. So like there's going to be some who like kind of come out of the woodworks here. So, but no, it's a good concept because you don't want people to just die because they don't know how to heal each other.
Yeah, and then we get a tidbit that 1 man has died from drawing too much power.
Yes.
And 3 have burned themselves out.
Pretty good ratio considering there's over 100 here currently.
I wonder if there's a way to heal a burnout.
Okay.
Probably not, right? Because what we felt for was like the severed.
Yes. And burning out is kind of like you did that to yourself by overdrawing.
I picture like a light bulb burning out. Like you can't turn it back on.
Yeah. It's like it's toast.
Toasted.
It's done. Yeah.
Toasted.
Instead of like cut.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's fair.
Yeah. And nobody has died from the sword yet.
Because they know how to heal.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then Rand asks about what the man mentioned as the Black Tower.
Yeah. So.
And Taim's like, well, it's just a name the students use. I don't know where it came from. Yeah, right. You did it. You told them to do it.
Do you think that Taim came up with the name?
100%.
Oh, okay.
You think they just like came up with it? No.
Well, it's not that hard to come up with that because I'll tell you that like Wheel of
easy.
Time fandom figured out that name before we ever saw the Black Tower. Because like
I'm
as soon as you get the White Tower,
yeah,
you're like, oh,
well, and also
Mad School, Black Tower.
Well, also the other thing is when you see the Aes Sedai symbol,
it's white and black.
You have the women with the white and the men with the black.
Yeah, it's literally not a hard thing to come up with. So that's what I'm saying. It's like Taim says that he does it. Like he doesn't directly say he doesn't, but he's like, hey, the students came up with it. It's not like an unbelievably clever name. And
he's like, we can't just call it the farm, and it makes sense, the Black Tower to balance the White Tower.
Yeah, like he's got a pretty good argument. So my point, I want you to kind of look at Rand in this chapter. Just pretend that he is like the worst manager that you've ever had or worked for. Because he is a giant dick in this chapter. Everything that he does to Taim here is just like a manager who comes in out of nowhere, steps on your toes, like... He undercuts all of your work and all your accomplishments.
And you have no personal experience.
I have no personal experience with it. This is like just like riffing off the top of my head. But he's just like
That's
undercuts everything he does, and then he leaves.
Experience.
Yeah, it's like, man, you suck. And I understand why Taim is like, get the hell out of here, Rand. You gave me this task. Mm-hmm. You come in, you pin freaking pins on my chest like a dick, and then leave.
I don't think that was a dick move. I think that was an excellent...
I think Rand is a total asshole.
From
Taim's perspective.
Okay. From Taim's perspective, maybe.
And from my perspective, if I was Taim, I would also be angry about this.
Okay. If Taim is angry about this.
Sure.
That's the other thing to think about. Because I have a theory I need to talk about later.
Okay.
I think, honestly, though, Rand is not being like manipulative or
he's
undercutting or
underhanded.
He's literally trying his best.
He is, but the actions that he's doing are undercutting Taim's authority in this very tumultuous...
The problem is with Rand is he's stretched too thin with every place he needs to be and every single thing that's going on.
No, he is, and I'm not saying it, but it's like his actions, it doesn't really matter what the intent is. It matters what the action is. Yeah. And what he's doing is he's coming in to a very dangerous place in the sense that Taim has to keep these guys under control. Like 100 plus men who are gonna go insane with the power and the taint, and he's also suffering from the taint probably and the madness and whatever. Yeah. But it's like he comes in and undercuts Taim's authority really hard.
Okay, because at no point when I was reading this chapter did I feel bad for Taim, even in the slightest.
Because I do.
I felt so terrible for Rand in this situation, because he would like to be here and see what's going on, and he's not, and
Yeah.
he's doing a bad job.
Yeah.
And it sucks for everybody all around, and I think Taim's being an asshole.
Well, yeah, and it's like, I mean, and that's the thing. Like when we get to let's get to the pin scene. I'll bring it back because we've
Okay. All right.
We've
So
explained
Rand
both the
tells
sides.
Taim to gather the students because he's got a few things to say.
yeah.
Now, I'm not sure where and when I should say this, so I think now is as good a time as any.
Okay, do it.
We're gathering random people from every countryside you can imagine.
Yep.
And we just have 100 random men here. Percentage of dark friends that are here
Oh, okay.
in real life,
Sure.
probably some.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's like dark friends everywhere. So it's like
you
probably
know
there's
where I actually
Yeah.
really started thinking of that was in Rand's dumb speech.
Okay.
When he specifically says, and we'll get to it, but he specifically says, you fight for the light or something. You're
Yeah.
the good that's fighting the evil. And I was like, wait a minute. There's 100 dudes here. You have no idea who any of them are.
What's the percentage of dark friends to,
that are
non-dark friends?
legitimately not fighting
Yeah.
for the light and are not fighting against evil.
Yeah, that's fair.
And are channeling to become like dreadlords.
But
And
they're
you're
gonna
just
be-
teaching them like.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. That's the
Yeah.
risks that you have to take.
Yeah, I know that.
And that's why I'm talking
that's
about, like,
something, I don't know
yeah.
if Rand, if that's even crossed his mind, because it's literally at no point even been mentioned once as a possibility that they need to watch out for.
So the only thing that Rand did mention to tie in was like, watch for anybody
Forsaken.
who learns too fast because boom,
It
Forsaken
could
in
be a Forsaken.
disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At no point is he like,
Yeah, which is also like, really, is Forsaken going to come and then like act like a student and then learn quick to move up the ranks of the school?
I mean, like, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, it's just like, I
Yeah.
can't imagine like a Samael type being like, oh, I'm going to go pretend that I'm a student.
No.
Like, no, that
If
doesn't make
anything,
any... Yeah.
what's going to happen is a Forsaken is going to know that they have dark friends who potentially can channel.
Yeah.
And they're going to send
Yeah.
their dark friend,
Be like, hey, go attend the school. Actually,
Yeah.
it's a really good idea.
yes,
So,
we'll go attend the school and
Yeah.
spy.
like, we know
Or
that there's
whatever.
Black Aja in the White Tower, so it's like, it makes sense that there will be some,
Here.
here too. It makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Something that crossed my mind, though.
Okay.
That's all.
Keep it in the back of your mind then. You're
All
good.
right. Gather the students.
Yeah, let's do
He's
this.
like, I'm going to stand on the back of the cart or something. But no, there's
Speech
a
time.
platform for making addresses.
Yeah, which makes sense because it's like it's getting bigger. You
Mm-hmm.
need a place to address all your students, so it's a big black stone that's been polished.
And carved with steps.
Nice. Okay, cool.
So Rand gets up, he looks around at all the students, and he sort of sees how far Taim's recruiting has gone, because he sees men from Borderlands, West Coast, here, even Ilion, like
Yeah,
lots of places.
yeah, everywhere.
Rand starts his speech.
Oh, also old men as well as young men.
Cool.
Which again makes sense because it's like,
That's what they wanted.
yeah,
Rand starts by telling them that they've probably heard all the rumors of the White Tower being divided, and it's true!
Ha,
Pause for
amazing.
dramatic effect.
yes, nothing, no, okay,
And that
continue.
there's Rebel Aes Sedai who might end up following Rand. And everyone just stares at him with no reaction.
Yeah, he tries to make a joke about like the Aes Sedai, oh, they're gonna wait on me or whatever, and then you can laugh in the face of any man who says anything else.
And they're
But it's just like crickets, man.
yeah.
Not the crowd for your jokes.
No. Well, especially considering this place seems pretty hard ass.
It's a harsh place, but it's like that's what they need because he's creating weapons
Yeah.
for Rand to
Yeah.
use.
And then he goes on to say, okay, listen, guys, you need a name of who you are.
Yeah.
So in the Old Tongue, Aes Sedai means servants of all, and another word in the Old Tongue is Ashaman,
Yes.
and it means guardian, sort of.
Yeah. And then he
It's-
way
sort of means
over explains the point here.
guardian, and it also sort of means protector or defender.
And then, the
Or-
Old Tongue is really hard to translate. And it's like a little bit like loosey-goosey in the definitions. So it's like, Rand, they don't need this part of it.
Yeah, and you're gonna become Ashaman.
Yeah. Woo.
Woo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Except
overall...
not Woo, because no one's here. Min's not here.
Yeah.
Except Min would not like this. No
So
one would like
here's
this.
a point. Overall, very cool. Like, I actually really love the fact that he created a name and an identity for these men because they need a name and an identity.
Well-
which is why Time was like, yeah, we're going to call it the Black Tower because we can't just be the farm.
Yeah.
These men are gathering for a purpose.
It's so interesting that Rand decided to name these soldiers and give them different ranks.
Yeah.
But he didn't, in his mind, come up with a name for this place.
Yes, and then he doesn't like the name. He's like, I don't like this name. But it's just because
already
he didn't come
stuck.
up with it.
Yeah, and he's like, it's going to cause
But it's like,
gossip,
that's what you're doing,
turmoil.
man. That's
and
what you're
like,
doing.
You think what you're doing isn't causing turmoil?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so they're going to be Ashamen when they're done.
Yes. So he goes over the ranks. So when you come here, you're a soldier because that's what you are when you join us. And you're a soldier to fight the shadow and the whole like
okay,
anybody.
Wait, I have a question though.
Okay.
So in the Age of Legends, men and women were both Aes Sedai.
Yes.
So he didn't want to continue that tradition and have the men be raised to Aes Sedai.
Turns out no.
It's like distinction.
There's a distinction because it's different this time.
It's different this time.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And it is different.
Cool.
Yeah.
Questions I would ask Rand if I could interview him.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So, when you reach a certain level of skill, you become dedicated, and then you wear, and he pulls out the little medium-sized bag of silverwork, which is the sword.
Which is like a little sword.
Yes, it's a little sword, because they're dedicated.
Pin.
Little pin. And this is why I'm saying it's like, Rand's like the CEO of the company who's literally never here to do any of the work.
Yeah.
And then he swoops in,
Yeah.
puts his, authority all over everything.
The problem is, though,
I get it.
He put so much work and effort and thought into this.
I get it.
And it's not well received, and that's sad.
I also feel sad for Rand
because
because
this was going to be such a good idea.
His intention is good. The execution is awful. And from Time's perspective, I get why he's super mad. Because he's pissing all over Taim's authority.
Well, and at this point, instead of like talking to Taim about what he's going to do and let Taim do this, which is probably actually what should have happened.
He should have probably given the bags to Taim and be like, Taim, you're the captain of this place. This is what I want done. You do it. You explain to the men who they are, the name, the pins. You do that. Like, that's how you give someone authority.
Yeah.
And Rand does it, and it
right.
gets worse because then he's like, come here, and then he like bends down to pin the sword in his collar, and then he says, okay, the next rank, then when you've gone far enough, you're Ashaman, and you wear the dragon.
The gold dragon.
Which is really cool, but he does the little dumb pinning it on his other collar for Taim, and that's why Taim's like fuming. And then it gets worse because then Rand says, I suppose I was the first Ashaman, but Taim's the second.
Yeah.
So it's like, again, just undercutting. And again, he's not intending to be, the way he's being. But that's what's happening. And that's what's coming across to every person at the school and to Taim. And that's how he's feeling.
Because most of them don't even know who the fuck he is.
Because he hasn't been here since the beginning. Rand's never here.
Yeah. But he got other stuff to do.
I know he does. And that's the point. But that's why he should have given that power to Taim to be like, you do it.
Maybe.
That's how it should have went down. And Taim probably would have been happy about that.
No. I don't think Taim would be happy about anything, to be honest with you. I think he's got a lot going on in his own brain, and I think that he is never going to ever be happy, and he is a very suspect human.
Well, also, because we can talk about that, because it's like he's also battling with, being a channeler and taint and all that stuff. So.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyway, you forgot to mention that the second tier will be called dedicated.
I did not forget to mention that.
You did say that
I
out
did
loud?
say that, and that's the sword.
That's the sword. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I missed it.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, he's like, even if you never become Ashaman, you're here, you're important, we love you.
Yeah, at the end of it, you're a soldier, and your job is to fight at the last battle.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense. Like, at the end of it, at the heart of it, you're a soldier.
Okay, so you're a soldier at the beginning, then dedicated, then Ashaman.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even if you never get further than soldier, you're still a soldier, and you have to
it's
fight.
all of us at the last battle, unless you're a dark friend.
Let's do it together.
Unless you're a dark friend.
Unless you're a dark friend, then you don't count. But, and that's why Rand wants to cheer or something, and he's like, they should be cheering. But
and there's only
no
silence.
Cheering. Yeah.
Which is like, at some point though, someone in the crowd should be like,
slow clap.
yeah, woo.
Well, they probably are also taught to not step out of line. Otherwise, you're going to get clipped in the head with a weave of air.
Right.
So, don't step out of line.
Right. Okay, so Rand gets down from the stone after that super awkward everything. And Taim snaps at everyone to get back to their lessons. And then he motions that he and Rand should go back to the farmhouse to talk. And I have to say, at this point, I didn't one time pick up on why Taim would be so grumpy, right? And grumpy is like a bad word for it, but like,
well, see, and
he's like perturbed, but like in the
he's
worst,
so annoyed.
He's like so annoyed,
and it's annoying because Rand is clueless to what's happening, and Rand's like, "Why are you being all butthurt about this? Like, why are you so grumpy, Taim? Don't you like what I did for you?" And Taim's like, "No, I hated that. That was awful."
Yeah. I think maybe the issue is I'm so clouded in my judgment of like who Taim is.
Okay.
When I read this chapter, and I still kind of stand by it. I know everything you're saying makes sense.
Sure.
But in my gut, like, I feel like there's something else happening with Taim.
Okay.
Like, I'm just too suspicious of like, what's going on behind the scenes, of what he's actually thinking, what's actually going on.
Can we agree on this maybe, even if Taim is suspect, that Rand could have done this way better?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was all awkward and weird.
Like, even if Taim is like, you don't like him or whatever, that's fine. But it's like, Rand really, I just hate the approach that he did. Like, I love the name. I love the pin. Like, it's such a good idea. They need an identity for themselves. But man, Rand's execution just sucks here.
Okay. So we also get a little bit of a tip that Rand notices the men are not sweating, and Taim taught them the trick.
Yeah.
But the women are sweating, and Rand's like, why didn't you teach them?
Yeah. And he's like, I tried to. They don't want to do this.
Yeah. They avoid it because it might be connected to the power. Rand tells Taim that he's glad to see the recruiting is going well, and they should match the White Tower in less than a year at this rate.
Yeah, so it's really good.
And he asked Taim how he's doing it, and, you know, he's leaving the recruiting to others.
Yes.
He's got about a dozen older men that he trusts not to mess things up, and he sends them with stronger students who can weave gateways.
Yeah, but then, like, the older guys that keep them in line so they don't cause trouble, and it's just like...
Which is interesting that there are about a dozen students who are strong enough to weave gateways, because we know in Saladar, there was like literally no one who was strong enough to weave a gateway.
Yes.
So
it's a big deal.
Yeah.
But they're also pushing, so like maybe that has something to do with it.
Maybe, actually. I don't know, though.
And I mean, making gateways is different.
Is like a thing that you have or you don't have, right? Like.
Well, there's also like a learning curve to it.
Yeah.
Where it's like you have to grow into it, because we've gotten with the women, like Egwene and Elaine and stuff at the beginning, they weren't as strong, but they've like gotten stronger.
Yeah, but Egwene was always going to be way stronger than
they could
like, the
feel
women
how high they were going to get, but it's like they weren't there yet. So, yeah.
All right. So then Taim asks Rand what he's doing with the men he recruits who can't channel.
Yeah, because they get sent back to Caemlyn.
And Rand says, well, they go to Bashir to join that army.
Yeah.
And it's apparently not going too well.
No, because it's like farmers and runaways and whatever that Taim is picking up.
Who like want to be Dragonsworn, and like maybe they thought maybe they could channel, and
but they're not soldiers, and Bashir wants like soldiers, and he's a borderlander, so he wants like hardened men
to do horse tricks.
Yeah, exactly.
These men can't do a single horse trick.
You don't even know, because they're building up to something. It's gonna be, they're gonna put on the best distraction show for the Dark One.
Can't
be
even...
like, look over here, distraction.
You can't even
horse show.
Stand up on a horse that's riding.
You can't do a handstand.
What
are you doing?
Get out of here.
Oh, man.
Okay. So Rand finally asks Taimine, like, what's going on? What's going on with you? You've been annoyed since I got here, since I put the pins on you. And Rand says the men will think more of theirs if they see Taim receiving his from the Dragon Reborn.
It's like Rand has it all backwards. It's like the men aren't going to respect Taim more because you put pins on his collar.
No, the problem with Rand is he has this god complex.
A little bit.
Where he's like, I'm the Dragon fucking Reborn.
Don't you know who I am?
Yeah, but the problem is these men don't.
No, they don't. They know his name.
He thinks they do, though, because everywhere he goes, everyone's all like falling down in front of him.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing that even Taim at the beginning talks about. Is like we're teaching these men that they can channel just like you.
Yeah.
So in a large sense, it's like they are becoming like mini Dragon Reborns themselves.
Yeah.
So I mean.
Yeah, and then he like goes on to say, well, maybe you don't have to club them in the head anytime they do something wrong. And Taim is like visibly shaking with rage.
Yeah.
But then keeps himself in control. But just the way it's described, from my perspective, like in my notes, I wrote super weird.
Okay.
I thought this was very suspect. Almost like there was someone in his head like,
And, like, okay.
that he was battling or talking to. Like,
Well, he might.
Because it seemed
Yeah.
like he dissociated, wasn't even listening to her. Like, I didn't think that anything that Taim was doing was in any way related to things that Rand was doing.
That's so funny. And when I read it, it's like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, you
This
have
is so
personal
annoying.
experience with this.
I am
know.
annoyed for him.
I know, I get it. Now that you say it, I get it.
Okay.
But when I was reading this, I didn't think anything that was going on had anything to do with Rand.
You're like, ooh, spooky something going on in his
Yeah.
head.
And
And
I
I'm
was
like,
like-
world's shittiest
So
boss.
then, yeah, exactly. And then, so I have this whole new theory because of this.
Oh, man,
If
okay.
I read it the way you did, I wouldn't have this theory.
Yeah, no kidding.
So my new theory is that men who are going crazy, because you've asked me this question before.
Yeah.
Is Luz Theron in Rand's head a symptom
Yes.
of craziness because of the taint?
Yeah.
And I've said, I don't think so, because Luz Theron is clearly there.
Yeah.
He's clearly real Luz Theron.
Okay.
But now I'm thinking, yes, he's real, but maybe it has to do with the taint.
Okay.
Like-
okay.
Like, maybe it's
Yeah.
not crazy per se or mad. Maybe it's they come across that way because there's people talking to them in their head who are real.
Well, and it's also like maybe you're not supposed to be able to hear the voice of your past life and past self in your head.
Right, and then maybe that's part of the taint thing.
It's like, here, you want to go
Yeah.
crazy? Here's the voice from your past self who thinks that they're still in your body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. And so that's like kind of where my mind went here.
That'll-
Because I was like,
yeah.
with Luz Theron thinking that Taim is somebody
Sure.
that he needs to kill and knows from a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then Taim acting super weird as if he also
Has like a past Taim self life living in his head. Okay.
And then even as they go on here, Taim is like recognizes.
He's like, hey man, you got to
"You gotta
keep that shit
control-"
locked down here.
Because he recognizes what's going on because he
gets
has
it.
the same thing.
He gets it, and
That's
maybe he's
my
like
new
figured
thing.
out how to like deal with it a little bit better. Maybe.
I doubt that.
Okay.
Because
okay.
it's because like we visibly see
him like shaking with rage.
and,
So
like,
like maybe
stuff.
there is. Yeah.
But like the way you describe it, it seems so
it could be both.
much less
Yeah.
nefarious.
Yeah, yeah.
The way you describe it. It's
Sure.
not like, ooh, terribleness. It's like, poor guy doesn't like his boss.
Yeah.
He's mad.
Well, I mean.
No, I think it's
I
way
don't,
more than
I don't
that.
want to trivialize it that much, but it's like it could be a little bit of column A and column B.
Perhaps.
It could be some of both.
Perhaps.
Okay. So anyways,
Yeah.
Time doesn't actually admit anything that he
No, he does
probably
not.
actually feels. He's like, oh, you want to
Nothing.
know what I'm really worried about? I'm worried about the fact that there's 9 Aes Sedai in
In
Camelin plus
Camelin.
the 2 that were already there.
Let's
so that's
kill
11.
'em.
Let's get a couple out.
I wonder if he has a voice in his head saying, kill them all!
Probably. Yeah, probably. But that's also like just like Taim doesn't have an issue necessarily with killing Aes Sedai because they've already captured him once.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And probably
He's
didn't
like,
treat him
oh,
very
off
nice.
a couple, whatever, man.
Yeah,
I'll
but
do
it's
that
like
for you.
same with Logain. Like if you took Logain in that same situation, like he might be the same way because he wants to tear down the whole Red Aja. He's
100%.
He's like screw them all.
100%.
Like it's a whole thing.
So Taim asks what happens if the Aes Sedai join the Red Sisters in the countryside, because apparently that's a thing.
yes, because we did know about Elida knowing about Rand's amnesty.
Yes.
And she like ripped up the document.
Yeah.
She's like, ooh, I'm so mad about that. So
right. So there
makes
are
sense.
several parties, allegedly,
Allegedly, Red Sisters in the countryside.
in the countryside, arriving in the last few days to intercept men who are trying to come here.
Very neat.
And at this point, Luz Theron comes back. He starts going on a rant about killing Taim and killing everybody. And
Yeah.
about how they must work for him. Like, quote,
Yeah.
they must work for him. Like, I don't even
So that's
know
all very,
what's
like-
going on. And Rand tries to tell Luz Theron to shut up, but then Luz Theron just, like, keeps going bigger.
And then he
Ah!
goes back to the whole like, oh, I've
no,
killed everybody
I've
that I
killed
ever loved.
everybody.
No, shoot.
And then Rand realizes he's leaning against the table, holding himself up, muttering out loud, "You're dead. I'm alive. You're dead." And this is where Taim picks up here and is like, "Oh shit!"
looks
very
concerned. He's like, oh, dude,
He's like, "You must
hold
hold
it together."
on. If sanity can be held, you must. The price is too high if you fail."
Yeah.
And which makes me think that Taim's literally going through the exact same thing and recognizes
Yeah.
it.
He's like, hold it.
Unless he's looking
lockdown,
at
man.
Rand and is like, "This is the crazy." But Taim is like so much older. Like that was always my.
I mean, and even when you say so much older, but there's like old men here, so there's a
no, but they haven't been like channeling as long.
They haven't, but I mean, we don't know a lot about Loghain's past, about when he started, and we also know that the madness affects people differently. Yeah. Like it's not a 1-to-1, and we don't know.
We think it affects people differently. We only have stories of kind of what happens by the end, where they're like destroying a village or hurting people or whatever, right?
Sure. I mean, like, we kind of have
the... We don't know what it's like in their head when they're, quote, going crazy.
No, we don't have a lot of that. But, like, from the stories we've heard about, like, Tom's nephew, and, like, from just Rand and seeing Loghain and seeing Taim, it's like there seems to be a different level. Like, Loghain's older, too.
Yeah.
Like, there is a difference in, okay, how fast and how do things affect.
Yeah, I don't think that matters at all.
I mean, of course it matters. It all matters.
No.
It has to matter.
No. I think that we don't know for sure what's going on in each of their heads, and, like, maybe it's different, but, like, maybe it's not.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay.
How's that? So Rand pushes himself up, and he asks if the Reds have taken anyone, and Team's like, no, everybody comes from gateways and stuff. So, with all the people on the road, it's hard to pick out people. And then Taim offers again to dispose of Aes Sedai. Rand says no, and if they start taking men, he'll do something about it. And Rand says specifically, if any Aes Sedai in Caemlyn come up missing or die for no reason, he'll know Taim's to blame.
Yeah. And that's when Time's a little bit sarcastic back, like, oh, so if one of the Forsaken decide to, like, off some people to, you know, piss you off, then I'm gonna get killed for it.
And Rand's like, yes.
Yeah, man.
You better hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, so, I mean, Rand's kind of being... I don't know.
And then on a completely different side note, Rand says, yeah, I'm going to make the Aes Sedai dance to my flute. And then he thinks,
Where is my flute?
Where is my flute? When was the last time I played the flute?
It's like, focus, Rand.
I sure like playing the flute.
He's crazy.
He's like, you know, yeah, I know. It reminds me of whenever you're doing anything and then you think to yourself, where is my birth certificate?
Yeah, it's like, whatever happened to that?
Do I know where my passport is? and you're like, where is that? That's kind of important. I should know where that is, right?
Have I done my vehicle registration lately?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's like, stay focused here. Come on, Rand.
Yeah, all right. Wow.
That's the end of it. Yeah,
that was quite a bit.
Yeah, I love the introduction because it's, like, super important.
To the Black Tower?
Yeah, we now have a Black Tower. We have Ashaman. Ashaman.
Sure.
You gotta say it like that every time. So.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Okay.
Yeah.
Fun. It's all good.
Yeah. You know, Rand and Taim don't have to like each other. They just have to work together.
And
right?
only sort of sometimes.
And only sort of sometimes because Rand doesn't show up very often. So it's fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
You
gonna read on?
Yes. There's very little of this book left.
Now, is it next episode? We have a guest coming on?
That's true, we do.
We're going guest crazy around here.
Yeah, well, we got to get our regulars back. So we got Tyler joining us.
For
the next 2 chapters.
Hopefully in person.
Yes.
That would be nice.
We'll see what happens.
You know, it makes me think Perrin's coming back.
Ooh, okay.
Why would Tyler show up if Perrin's not coming back?
Because this is the shortest chapter.
He's our friend and wants to talk. Maybe. We'll see.
Got to pick the shortest chapter because
he's
just going to talk too much about it, so that's fine.
That's true. He will talk a lot. Okay, but with that being said, before you create a Black Tower to rival the White Tower, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Well, that's all for now, folks. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the episode, and thanks for listening. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Danny and Brett, produced by Danny and Brett, with Essen, Passion Socks, Mozyme, Moltude, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Cody Fouts, Megan Smiley, Jonathan Reese, and Kaz. With music by Audionautics.com. If you're interested in supporting us and the podcast, you can find us on our Patreon page at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For all things The Wheel Weaves, like how to get in touch with us, how to send us really cool shot glasses, our social media links, how to join our Discord, and for just some general information about the show and the hosts, you can head over to our website at thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, don't forget to tell a friend about us, to leave us that 5-star review, and to hit that subscribe button over on YouTube. We'd really, really appreciate that, and it does help a lot. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.